Stop buying the Pro models until you watch this video, because Apple's biggest secret for 2026 just leaked. Most people think Apple releases budget phones to save you money, but that is a lie. The smartphone industry is losing its spark. Sales are stalling. Innovation has hit a wall. Apple is hitting the reset button with the iPhone 17e. This isn't just a cheap phone for people on a budget. It is a strategic weapon designed to kill the competition. For years, the Pro models have relied on more cameras and titanium frames. But buyer behavior has shifted. People are getting tired of chasing specs they never use. Most of us do not want a cinema rig in our pocket. We want a phone that stays fast for years. We want a design that doesn't look like it belongs in 2018. We want a battery that doesn't die before dinner. That is exactly where the iPhone 17e comes in to dominate. The biggest shock is what is hidden inside the frame. According to the latest supply chain leaks, Apple is dropping the full A19 chip into this device. Let that sink in for a moment. We are not talking about a watered-down version of an old chip. This is the actual next-generation Apple silicon. This is the same brain that will power the most expensive iPhones in the world. It comes packed with 8 to 12 gigabytes of RAM. This is massive because mid-range Android phones usually start lagging after 2 years. They get bogged down by updates. But the iPhone 17e will feel brand new even at the end of the decade. This longevity is Apple's real advantage. They aren't selling you a phone, they are selling you a decade of performance. It is about the power to run AI, the power to play high-end games, and the power to stay smooth. But it is not just about raw speed. It is about the technology nobody talks about, the modem. Apple has been working on its own in-house modem for years. They already proved it works with the 16e, but the 17e is where they optimize it. This means better signal in crowded areas. It means fewer dropped calls in elevators. Most importantly, it means incredible battery efficiency. Because the chip and the modem are designed by the same team, they talk to each other perfectly. They save power. You get more screen on time without needing a giant, heavy battery. These are the upgrades you feel every single day. These are the features that actually matter when you are out in the real world. Visually, the cheap look is finally dead. Apple is killing the budget aesthetic once and for all. The notch is gone forever. The dynamic island is coming to the E-series for the first time. This is a huge design shift. When you hold this in 2026, nobody will know it is the affordable model. It shares the same modern face as the flagship lineup. It looks expensive. It feels premium in the hand. It stops looking like an older model and starts looking like the future. However, there is one major catch that has the tech community divided. It still uses a 60 Hz display. In a world where even cheap Android phones have high refresh rates, this is a bold move. Let's be honest. In 2026, the era of 60 Hz should be over. The difference between 60 Hz and 120 Hz is huge when you are scrolling or switching apps. Once you see the smoothness of a Pro screen, it is hard to go back. But Apple knows exactly what they are doing. They are making a calculated trade-off. They believe that most users would rather have a lower price and a battery that lasts 2 days than a screen that drains power for smoother animations. They think reliability beats fluff. But still, many fans argue that a 90 Hz screen would have been the perfect middle ground. It would have made the phone feel modern without breaking the bank. What do you think? Is 60 Hz a deal-breaker for you in 2026? The camera follows a philosophy of less is more. You won't see 3 or 4 lenses on the back. You get one powerful 48-megapixel sensor. There are no filler lenses. There is no unnecessary hardware just to make the spec sheet look long. It is just Apple's best image processing doing the heavy lifting. For your TikToks, your Instagram Reels, and your family photos, you will not see a difference. For 90% of users, the gap between this and a $1,000 phone is now impossible to spot. Unless you are a professional filmmaker, you do not need the pro cameras. You need a camera that takes a great photo the first time you press the button. The real wildcard here is the price tag. This is where Apple can truly charm. Either game. If Apple launches this at $599, they are playing it safe. But if they drop it at $499, they blow everything up. At that price point, the iPhone 17e doesn't just compete with Google or Samsung. It starts eating the sales of Apple's own Pro models. Why would you pay double for a titanium frame, or a third lens you never use? You get the same chip. You get the same dynamic island. You get the same main camera quality. You get the same software support for 7 years. It makes the Pro models look like an unnecessary luxury. This rollout is classic Apple. They don't need a huge event with celebrity guests. They can just do a quiet launch on their website, and the market will shift. We are seeing a massive change in how people buy technology. The Pro story is getting tired. People are done chasing the most expensive thing just because it is the most expensive. They want value. They want a phone that works, stays fast, and looks good. The iPhone 17e is the first phone in a long time that feels like it was made for the average person, not for a tech enthusiast. In my opinion, the iPhone 17e is the perfect reality check for the entire industry. It proves that we do not need a $1,200 device to have a premium experience. While the 60Hz screen is a bit of a letdown for the year 2026, the inclusion of the A19 chip is a total game changer. This chip makes the phone a better investment than almost any Android flagship launched in the same window. It is the smartest purchase for a student, a professional, or anyone who wants a phone to last. It is sleek. It is incredibly powerful, and it is finally priced where it should be. This is the phone that will likely break sales records and force other companies to rethink their entire strategy. Apple is playing a dangerous game with its own high-end lineup, but for us as buyers, we finally win. This is the reset button the industry needed. If you like the video, subscribe, share the video, and hit the bell icon.